Hi, welcome to tonight's live stream. We're doing it a little bit earlier this week, purely simply because of we're having a barbecue at Lydia's, and we thought we'd make the most of it. Now, today's special guest is Spencer, and I'll let him introduce himself and tell us all about what Spencer does.
Yeah, so thanks for the invite, Carl and Lydia. Really appreciate it. So I'm Spencer Martin. Call me Spen. I'm the founder of a new company called Glucose Evolution, and what I have is a new continuous glucose monitor that employs a lot of AI technology, and I specifically promote it because these devices are primarily for type 1 diabetics in the UK. They'll get them prescribed on the NHS, as well as small cohort of type 2 diabetics. I specifically promote my device in the non-medical, so let's just call it lifestyle arena, primarily through health influencers like the lovely Lydia sat next to you, and also through practitioners, so like nutritional therapists, nutritionists, health coaches, as opposed to just organic B2C, because I feel a sense of responsibility that's going to be wearing that little sucker on their arm in terms of when I've got the data, what next? So just very quickly, my background is 30 years working in very stressful corporate, initially pharmaceutical industry. It was interesting. And then the last 20 years in medical devices, most of that time working with this sort of technology. So really, my business is a combination of, I know these devices intimately. I've got a good network of, I could acquire a good quality CGM. But layered on top of that is my why, and that is for the last 10 years since I made changes to my own sort of lifestyle and certainly nutrition habits, I've wanted to get involved in some way to help fight this curse of the 21st century, which is the root is poor metabolic health that is leading to all of these disastrous chronic diseases, from diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, many cancers. So that's my why. So I'm only 3 months in now, but the business is going incredibly well, quicker than I expected. And my only challenge at the minute is keeping my stock at a suitable temperature because it's hot.
So how long does one of your monitors, once we've had it fitted, can we expect sort of lifespan?
Yeah, so the sensor, you'll attach it to the back of your arm and it will last 14 days. So so you get 14 days worth of data, a minute by minute. I don't know if you can see or pick it up on the camera. That's the transmit part that you see on just implanted under the skin into your interstitial fluid is a little, it's like a hair-like, I don't know if you can see that, little hair-like filament. That measures the glucose concentration effectively. And every minute you'll get a sensor reading sent to your phone app, which I've got my screen mirrored if you want to see that. I'm sure I can share my screen and show you what it actually looks like on the user application. So 14 days, a minute by minute. So that would be a lot of finger pricking, wouldn't it? Over 14 days to get a blood glucose reading. So
well, my father was diabetic, and he used to have 3 pin pricks a time, and he used to say that his fingers and the sensitivity in his fingers used to be terrible because after a while the skin gets thicker because of all that. So you're taking away all that issue for obviously that's the diabetic issue, but I'm not diabetic anymore. Thank God.
You don't need to prick your finger.
I would really be interested in seeing what happens when I have a meal, what meals I have, and seeing how it reacts. And what you're saying to me is your data is instant, as good as
it's real time. And if somebody's working with a practitioner or a coach, they can also have real-time access to your data. So literally watch it minute by minute if they had the timing of day. But I tell practitioners not to do that. Look at their clients' data continuously. But it's revolutionary. Like your father, with this technology, they rarely have to prick their finger now. They'd be told if they had symptoms that didn't match their sensor glucose reading than just to do a confirmation check with a finger prick. But I mean, the impact over the last decade or so, where they've been more available for people with diabetes, it's just revolutionized how they can live their daily lives.
Sorry, Lydia.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you've actually taken a photograph of your food, haven't you? And it's actually sorted it all the macros and everything else. So here we do a bowl of, I think it was the yogurt you did.
Yeah, if you want me to do a live one now, I prepared something like a repeater.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I'll just click on the plus, do I, at the bottom?
Yeah, it should do, or there should be a share screen button.
Share screen. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Share screen.
What I'll do, I'll minimize us and make you the main screen. So I think that should work now, does it? Or was it that one?
Working.
No, it's the wrong way. All right.
It's my, I've lost you, but it's my phone. Is that come up?
Oh, no, we've got it here. I can, hang on, I can get it, let it into the room. There we go.
All right, okay. Tell me when it's there. I've lost you.
It's there.
So full faces if you want.
All right,
Okay,
yeah.
so,
No, we
so
can see your screen perfectly.
Can you see it, Carl?
Yeah, we can see it. 5.6, 5.7, 5.6. It's like the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, come on, not that bad. Well, there's a little story there. Cheeky bugger. So you've got, so this is the home screen, just gives you that quick snapshot as a user of the kind of in-day. So you've got different views, 3 to 6 to 24 hours. I'll explain some of these. It's interesting. Yeah. You'll notice here that there's icons. So this is where, as Lydia alluded to, this is where I've entered an event, like key events for people to enter. It's going to have like the biggest impact on their blood sugars is meals. So the way in which you would do that is to click on the plus sign at the top. You could click on, these are the events you can enter. I use custom for stress. I just type in stress. So for meals, you click on that, take a photograph, type it in, but I prefer, and I encourage people if they're going to wear it, keep it simple. I can't be doing with typing things in. So see the smart food log. I'm just going to click on that. Here's one about 15 minutes ago. Let's hopefully that'll pick it up. Not too blurry.
No, it's coming out all right.
So avocado, tomatoes, feta cheese, yes, mixed. Yeah, so good. I'm happy with that. If I wasn't happy with that, and I was really anal, which sometimes I am, I'll just edit it. Yeah. So I then decide, well, this is going to be dinner for me. So if I just click save, so I suggest you do it before you eat the meal. If you do it retrospectively, you can just click on the time and just go back. And I would say just do it before you click on save, exit, and you'll see. And I'm going to eat that after, by the way. And I'll send you a screenshot, and it won't be the Rocky Mountains. So that's got in there now.
Yeah.
So the beauty is, Carl, is when you're going back to look at your data, everything you've entered in here is stored in your logbook. So I'll just show you a couple of interesting ones. It's like there, you said Rocky Mountains. This is really interesting. This is this morning. I didn't eat this morning. That entry there on the left is one of my daughter is learning to drive.
Oh God!
Herself, Sven. You see the stress response? I was hot. I was bothered, as was she. Yeah. Note to self: Sven, do not become a driving instructor if glucose evolution doesn't work out. So yeah, it's not just food. Right. I'll go to the logbook and I'm going to show you. So everything you've entered in there, be it exercise.
So in depth, isn't it? If you wanted to be.
What I like about this app, and I didn't see on CGM axis. After that, so in this context, pre-meal, I was 5. My post-meal peak, which is a really key metric for people to sort of look at. You want to keep the post-meal peak either below 7.8 or within a 2.2 rise from your baseline. So that's well within that metric.
Wow.
I can very quickly. I met Lydia. Later that afternoon, I went for a game of golf, and I normally, in my local one stop, will pick 2 boiled eggs and a couple of bits of chicken on the stick. There was nothing in there, and I wanted to eat. So I thought, all right, okay, this looks healthy. No, the deli's got to be healthy, right?
Yep.
So when we look at it, it absolutely killed me.
Wow.
So, not quite as.
That 9.1.
That was part of it. I didn't even have the meal deal. So I would, if you ever wear one of these, Carl, I'll suggest do the meal deal, because you'll have the fizzy pop and the cream.
Wow, that's incredible.
Crisps.
I think it was so good though, isn't it? It's the stress, to see the stress level, to see your food, and obviously, you know, the occasional beer or whatever else. Exactly.
Yeah,
doesn't it hits quite quick, doesn't it?
Not good. This is why
we're having a bit of a problem with the signal here. We're getting you in
happy
bits.
with it. Yeah, click the tick. Yeah, it's coming through. So I don't know if that's come through. So it's picked it up nicely. 6 o'clock, 1 hour swim. I wish I did. That's what I need to get back to. I click save, and then you'll.
That's so good. And you're 100% in range there, aren't you, as well?
It's logged here. So again, I could go to the logbook and look at the impact there. That wasn't a swim.
Yeah.
Right.
And there you have a summary tab, which certainly for practitioners who are going to be reviewing 14 days of. So if I was reviewing, and I'm not a practitioner, your data, Carl, I'll be looking really at the summary.
Yeah.
So I'd be going, just default to a day view. But I'll be really looking at that. So, oops, seems to have gone. Okay, that's
so that was 100% on range then, wasn't it?
I've got it on here. Yeah. Can you see my? I've got it on the big screen now.
Yeah.
Does that come up? Tell me when that comes.
Yeah, that's there.
So yeah, this is the practitioner. Cool. So this is the practitioner's view. So this is my data again. Last 14 days. Time in range is useful, but it's not the most important metric for the non-diabetic. I come out of the world of diabetes where it is the only thing talked about, time in range. But the key metrics for us, for the non-diabetics, are we want to look at glucose variation. So these two here. So that's standard deviation, blood glucose, and coefficient of variation. So I do have on my website in the support a very simple layman's terms guide to the numbers, the priority metrics, and perhaps where you should, no, don't like using the word worried, but you need to pay attention. So for the non-diabetic, below 0.9, for standard deviation, and coefficient variation is just taking this number, your average sensor glucose, and it gives a percentage. So for us, it's 17% is optimal. So anything getting like in the 20s, mid 20s, even though your time in range might be good, I'd be paying attention to these as a first, because it's showing you've got noise in the background. And if you continue that way, then it's you're sort of heading potentially to pre-diabetes or pre-diabetes. So I'd be keeping like a good my eyes on this. So I do have Lydia's data as well, which I've not seen anyone as outstanding as Lydia's data.
Thank you.
So there's lots of information. Do you want me to show you Lydia's?
Yeah, why not?
You happy with that?
Yeah,
that's your data.
I'll just do the summary one, then a short one, because there's like a 10-pager and a short 2-pager. So this is, and I hope you don't mind, Lydia.
No, it's all right.
Showing Lydia's data. So time in range, interesting with Lydia, and here's a watch out I wanted to highlight. A time in range, actually, you'll see in red there that she's had some, what we would say is low glucose or hypos. However, specifically with Lydia, when you look at her 14 days of data, this is outstanding, by the way, I'll come back to that. She's having these lows at night, and I've had this checked by the engineers, so I was 99.9% certain. Lydia's had a phenomenon called compression low, which is just a thing with CGM. So you tend to get these at night time when you're accidentally sleeping on the CGM, on the device itself. What happens is that causes a compression and the numbers go low. So for Lydia specifically, she runs her numbers very low, have to say, but she's got a very smart liver and it will kick out enough glucose to keep her in a safe range. So I would back these out. So Lydia's time in range, if it's not 100%, it's 99 point something, because Lydia's like controlled. So that's the upper threshold, non-diabetic threshold, 7.8, lower threshold. She is super tight, better than mine, yes.
No beers,
next time, if you wear one again, Lydia, you're going to have to road test it with a pencil or something, add some flavour to it. That is her control.
I did actually I did experiments with some
coefficient variation, like
I did do an experiment with
that was naughty, so I can go to it.
Kefir and blueberries, which wasn't a lot, but it shot up and went straight back down again. I think it went to 5, which wasn't high, but 5.9, and then shot down to 3 point something, I think, and then leveled out. But it was literally a 20-minute. It was really quick.
Yeah, I mean that it shows that the speed that it comes back down shows you're super insulin sensitive, and it's really, we should be having a discussion about insulin. Glucose is just the proxy for it. So it just shows your super, and you're talking a different language as well, because 5.9 for the sort of normal person is spike to that is nothing.
I think that's what's so interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of people don't have an idea of all the different foods and what it actually does to the blood sugar and stress. You know, a lot of people don't realise, do they?
Yeah, I've realised over the last few months, because I've been burning, it's stressful starting a new business. It's the first time I've done it. I've always been in the corporate, surrounded with cotton wool, late nights, stress. It just makes my sugars just bump along a little bit higher. And like coming on here, probably my glucose is going up a little bit right now. Just a little bit of stress. So stress does impact. They all said stress is a killer, didn't they? And I concur with that. A little washout for some people are like an early warning sign of some metabolic distress. Apart from the metrics we just went through, I'll just show you. My wife, she won't mind me sharing this with you. She walked one a few months ago. She didn't log events. I'm like, come on, log the event. What was that? So she had late afternoon a very carby, sort of high glycemic index meal. Took her just over 7.9, but look at what happened after. So what this is, see the baseline here before the meal? Well, this is called reactive hypoglycemia. So it's a good visual check for somebody to see what's happening. Is like she's had the first phase insulin response to try and keep the blood sugar in check, and then a second phase, she's probably over, a bit of hyperinsulinemia there, and it's just the glucose right down to, you know, that sort of towards the hypo. So this is, for example, practically, this is the person that's had, you know, maybe a carby lunch and they get in that mid-afternoon slump, brain fog, in energy. That's a good visual. I hope maybe she watches this, she'll give me a slap, but I just thought that's a good practical example.
So would that make you want to, would that make you want to have something else sugary then to combat that drop?
Yeah, she's going to want it when you've dropped like that.
Yeah.
The unfortunate consequences, I need more sugar.
Yeah.
Because your energy's dipped, there's brain fog, and so that, I mean, that's the problem when your blood sugars are up and down throughout the day. That crash, you just don't want to ignore. So people like yourself, I'm low carb, 10 years, keto, did a month of carnivore. I know you're carnivore, Lydia, but your blood, you're not getting that. You've just got that stable glucose and energy throughout the day. So I know a lot of people that have moved to a lower carbohydrate within a few weeks. The first thing that they recognize is I've just got more energy. And the afternoons, I'm not having to sneak off and put my head down, and you feel satiated, I think, as well. So you don't need to eat as much. Fascinating. I've become obsessed with this for 10 years now.
I can see why. Because what I'm intending to do is I'm going to probably do 2 sets of 2 weeks. One, try and do 2 weeks that's fairly sensible, and then deliberately go with my mates and have a couple of pints and see what the impact is, so I can visually show them what I'm doing with them is having an impact on me, because I think there's nothing more powerful than that kind of visual. So it obviously checks the stress, obviously does the glucose, and obviously the combination of that is the insulin. What other measurements are you doing, or is that pretty much it?
That's it. So it'll give you the response to these events. So things like stress. I mean, today, after my first lesson with my daughter's driving lesson, I went in sweltering. The sugars were around 7, which is abnormal for me. I just went into the garage, did a 20-minute, it was hot, really hard kettlebell workout, and my sugars came back down. I'd eaten just before that as well. It doesn't touch my sugars. Full fat Greek yogurt, had some berries and some walnuts. So I went, did the workout, and in that context, my sugars came down back to where they would be normally for me. If I'd done that workout fasted, most of my workouts I'm doing them fasted, ideally in the morning, I normally get a physiological rise in glucose. Don't be alarmed by that. That's just the liver pumping out, it's called gluconeogenesis, pumping out a bit more glucose to fuel that event. So because people get a little freak, I'm fasted, why is my blood sugars going up? I've just done an intense workout. It's a healthy physiological, not pathological response. So for the non-diabetics, it'll just give you those things, and it's specific to everybody. There's a tendency, if we have a pint of beer, that we're going to go up. By how much, the magnitude will be different for everybody. So it's really finding what are those sort of pain areas for me that are having the biggest impact, and then starting to think, well, I've seen it, I can't unsee it. And Lydia knows, I like after a round of golf on a Friday afternoon, so tea time on a Friday, I wandered to the 19th and have a couple of pints. I've got good metabolic health, I've measured my insulin, everything, so I've got the capacity to do that, and I take the consequence that but got to live as well.
From it, okay, don't you? That's the main thing, isn't it?
Well, I've done more business on the 19th hole than anywhere else, so I can understand why you might consider doing that. So
and interestingly, red wine, little speed bumps. Doesn't touch me, but it's the beer that gets the wheat, isn't it? And but red wine, certainly like a dry red, like Pinot Noir, Cab Sauv. Don't buy cheap wines because they'll just load them with sugar. But that doesn't bump me, which is fine. But if like weight loss was the thing, stay away from the alcohol, because you know, I mean, you've worn a keto monitor. If I had the keto monitor on and I had red wine, I'm not seeing a bump in my blood sugar, but my keto, that would knock me out of that fat burning and ketosis. So if you want to lose weight, try and not overdo the alcohol, because it will. Body's got to deal with that toxin, which is alcohol, unfortunately. Everything else shelved. So, and then also as well, the next day, some people can make bad choices after a big sort of session on the alcohol. I know not to, but you can imagine after a good few drinks the following day, you've slept terribly. So all of a sudden, you've sort of like a type 2, you know, you've almost got type 2 diabetes if you've had poor sleep. And then bad choices.
Sorry, the report that comes back, you know, 17 pages. I mean, that must be amazing for, you know, if you're being coached by somebody, etc., isn't it?
Yeah.
So much detail in to tell you what.
Yeah. They can, like the coaches, the practitioners really use that, review it before they've got their consultation with the client. They love it because they don't have to have the client sat next to them with a phone, which they did with another system. They can, it's all remote coaching. They just share their screen, and it helps like pinpoint, because you can't do everything in a day, can you? When you're coaching, it's like, okay, if we saw maybe late morning, when we look at the averages, your average glucose is, you know, sticks out late morning, and they can focus on like, what does morning activities look like? What do you tend to have for breakfast? And then you can drill into the, you know, through the logbook. And this is why I really recommend recording. And it's simple, just hover your phone. So even if their clients don't look at that, for the practitioner, they've now got a good visual of what they consumed, so they can look at portion size, what were the sort of what were the components of that meal. So huge amount of information to go at, but but not to get bogged down by all the metrics, which is why I did a little simple guide.
So that's brilliant, because funny enough, today we've been here with Lee Copus, so the Kent Carnivore, because we're all quite local to the area, and we were talking about, we're all our own chemistry lab. We all react differently to the same thing. So the three of us could eat the same thing and we'd have a different reaction. So what you're doing is you're giving a clear insight to the individual, how they react to whatever it is they're doing. As you say, if it's stress or if it's certain foods or certain carbs and all that. So I'm definitely interested in doing something on this.
It becomes personalized, doesn't it? Which is why like coaches and practitioners love it, because they're getting that unique response from their client, the person they're working with, and then can tailor it to that client versus not having any visibility of this data. You can assume that the higher carby meals, you can assume what's going to happen, but you can actually observe it and see it in practice in real time if they want, of what's happening with. So it does help them personalize their sort of nutritional support and direction they take their client in.
So people that would be interested in this product, I mean, I will put a link to below the contents when we post this up. I mean, it's live now, but I'll do a later post with the links to your site, etc. Do you want to give it a quick plug now for anyone watching?
Yeah, so the website is glucoseevolution.com, and I've created a discount code for Lydia. I think it's CB10. Just check that. Pretty sure. Carnivore bod. Yeah, CB10. CB meaning carnivore bod. So CB10. So that will give people a 10% discount. So if someone bought one sensor, they come in cool little cartons like this. Someone buys one sensor on my website, it's £45. So with Lydia's code, that will take it to £40.50. If they buy two, there's a second option, buy two sensors. That the list price of that, I discounted it a little bit because you get a month worth of data then. That's £87.30 list price. And then with Lydia's code, 10% off that is £78 something. So you get a discount.
And you are, hopefully, I'm going to do my shameless plug now. You are joining us at the meetup here at Lydia's place. Am I correct?
I hope to. Yeah, Lydia kindly invited me. It's the 4th of June. Yes, I remembered well. 4th of July. I should be good for that because I did say to Lydia I'm looking to take my daughter away for a week, but that's going to be the second week in July. So yeah, I'll be all in. Hopefully I can
get her to drive you down there, then we can see you all stressed up.
Yeah, it's a long drive as well. I'm in Leicester. They're all not unbothered. Okay, I'm now. It's hot. Yeah, no, I'd love to come along and hopefully I can buy some good produce I can take back for me. Was there opportunity for that there?
Yeah, well, we've just been tasting one of ours, haven't we?
We've just eaten your first
with steer, should we call
steer,
it?
is he? Well, it was steer, yeah. So it was lovely alive, but he was even more amazing on my plate. So
yeah,
no, he was.
Take some liver for me as well.
Yeah, got some liver.
I do like to try and get liver in once a week. I'm the only one that eats it in this household.
Liver and bacon for me. Liver and bacon every day.
Really nice combo.
Yeah. Nice combo. But your monitor is the smallest one. Is that right? It's about 5p piece. You can hardly see it, can you? I mean, I wore mine for 2 weeks, and I didn't wear the sticky thing. I think you said that you try and advise people to wear it the second week. But I was sitting out in the sun, and it worked fine. It was just obviously it come off after its 14 days.
Yeah.
So it's okay in the shower and all that, is it?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a master swimmer, so I'm in the pool 3 times a week for 45 to an hour at a time. 2 or 3 workouts in the gym. Personally, I wouldn't encourage people to do this. I rarely put the so I supply an overpatch with each sensor that goes out. You see the hole in the middle.
Yeah.
I recommend people apply that after the first week because we want to keep the that adhesive and the sensor attached firmly to the skin. Because if we start getting some lifting of the adhesive, what can happen is that little 5mm sensor filament just under the skin, it could move. And if it moves, you can start to get some erroneous readings. So I do recommend second week, put the patch on. I've got a high sweat threshold, so I don't sweat much. But for people that maybe perspire quite a lot, certainly in this weather, using that overpatch would be useful. People that have a real big problem with keeping these things on, you can get off Amazon for about 2 or 3 quid, something called Skin Tack. And it's a little wipe, come in little square pouches, a little wipe, just prepare the skin, wipe it on, and then apply the set. It's really sticky. There's no way that's coming off. That just gives it a little bit more adhesion. So for people that have challenges with that, I've got to say I've sent about 300 out of these, and I've had 2 drop off so far. And it wasn't the error of the adhesive, because I find this adhesive really good. One was she knocked it after 2 days, and the other one was one of you mentioned that getting undressed at night, t-shirt underneath. I found compared to other sensors, I've not had a problem because it's so small and thin. With other sensors, I've knocked them off, just taking my t-shirt off at night. It's got sort of got caught under the lip. So the first few days, just be aware that you've got something on the back of your arm. In the shower, like when you're scrubbing yourself down, just be careful. Don't be applying shower gel to it. But it's IP28, so it's waterproof. No problem with water. But just be aware.
Common sense, really, then, isn't it?
It's common sense, And it, like sleeping as well. If you're a side sleeper, if you sleep on your right, or on the left, vice versa. I sleep on my front, so I've never had a compression situation. So just consider where you're going to place it on your arm to minimize fidgeters. Maybe no, I think you described yourself.
I wore it on the wrong arm. I wore on the arm I sleep on. So
I sleep that side.
So
go when I put it on the other arm.
Who knows what happens at night? But I'm flat, and like I've said to people before, my wife thinks I'm dead. I just get woken up by poking the back. She's checking if I'm breathing. I ain't got sleep apnea. And then I turn around and I hear a big sigh. Yeah, he's still alive. So yeah, just think about where you're going to place it. And also as well, one last comment is when you put your arm out, it really likes a bit of fat. It's 0.5 millimeters. So just try and find that bit of the arm.
The bingo wing.
Yeah.
There's a bit of meat to apply it on. And like with a button, the insertion, you just press the button. But make sure, and I've had 2 practitioners do this, but press the button and it's not been on their arm.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and then it's sticky. You can't really retract it. So just place it against the arm, click it, pull it away slowly. Job done.
Yeah.
Well, everything I've been through is on my website. I've got a support page. I've got user videos for the user videos, practitioner videos. I've got my simple interpretation guide. So I recommend people look at that. Setup is really simple. It's all like the app. When you download the app, the QR code's on there. It's also on the delivery note that I send out. When you create your account on the app, it just talks you through it. Me being me provides a second layer on my delivery note, and on I think one of the emails that goes back when someone purchases, there's a link to me droning on one of the videos, just walking somebody through all of those steps. So it's
fairly idiot
I don't know how you
proof.
found it.
No, it's good. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it's simple, but a lot of people are wearing it for the first time. Where I've been working in the past 20 odd years with people people with type 1 diabetes that they don't have to think about it. But for first time users, I just want to make sure that they set it up correctly and they get the best experience from it. So I've been a bit of a nanny in terms of trying to be there with them, but not be there with the support.
So can type 1 diabetics get this as well? So it is, because I remember I think you talked about the NHS.
Yeah, so in the UK, so this product is registered with the MHRA because ultimately they are medical devices. My business, Glucose Evolution, is specifically only for, let's just say, non-NHS market.
Yeah.
The parent company I'm very close with, I've been doing consult work for them. They will launch this in the NHS. It will become available on the NHS. Having worked with the NHS for 30 years, the cogs turn slowly. So I'm going to help them get to the start line. There's a few more hoops to jump through to get it to a situation where a doctor can write a prescription for the. So it will become available on the NHS. Hope they're not listening, but I have no thirst whatsoever to run that business. But I'm helping them get to the start line, and they'll employ an army of people in the UK, which they need to do. It's very competitive. It's like a cartel with NHS and some of the big American corporates. I'm like, I'll get them to the start line, and then I'll advise them what to do. But I've done that for 30 years. I'm really sort of passionate about helping people like maintain or reclaim their health and not get to type 2 diabetes or heart disease and prevent the event.
And that is exactly what it does, isn't it? Because obviously if you can see it in real time what your food does, then you're going to make the changes.
And the manufacturer, interestingly, have in their pipeline, they've got stuff coming for type 1 diabetics, like an insulin pump, a patch pump. But for this, what we're talking about today, I know Lydia's very interested in, there's a continuous ketone monitor they're developing. I'm trying to get the ETA for that. I think that'll be the next product. So I'll be Glucose Evolution and Ketone Evolution. And then for me, the more interesting one is something called continuous lactate monitoring. A month ago, if you'd asked me what lactate is, I would have said, well, that's what I feel in my arms on the last 15 meters of a 100-meter butterfly event, because I'm still trying to do them. It hurts. So you got the sports context of lactate, but for us, the normal person, lactate, like insulin, is a very early marker of metabolic dysfunction. So glucose actually is quite a late marker. So continuous lactate monitoring will eke out those people that, like, I've been to my GP, my fasting blood glucose is okay, my A1C is 5.6, 5.5, it's okay. If you measure their lactate continuously, you'll see it's persistently elevated. So that's looking at, right, underneath the hood, your engine's running hot. So I can't wait to get that product in my hands. This is going to eke out like 10, 15, 20 years before it shows up. All of a sudden, blood sugars shoot up. We could measure them. And we got some good measurements with the CGM. We just went through those. But with something like lactate, you're going to see those much, much earlier on that signal of elevated lactate. There's not one available right now, but you're going to see that be the next CGM, continuous lactate.
That's incredible.
Invest in shares, because it will be like, look, CGM's a huge billion-dollar industry. Lactates, it's a race to get the first one sort of.
That is really exciting. And the only other comment, it's not much help here, but I can offer is the only time I tried the butterfly, they threw in the ring because they thought I was drowning. So it's not a stroke I ever tried again.
Yeah, well, at least when I compete now, nobody does it, do they? So, like, you might have 30 people in 100 meters front crawl, but you look at the 100 meters flies like 4 or 5 of us. So I wouldn't say it's a free hit for me, but it's a lot easier. But it's a killer. I did it as a kid, and I thought, right, that's what I want to do. And I want to be, because they do them in 5-year age blocks. I've picked an age block where I want to be the fastest over 100 meter butterfly in the country. It's a good few age blocks ahead of now. And my thinking is, well, we're all going to decline somewhat, but if I can, like, have my trajectory of decline not as bad as others, like here, then I've got a chance. I'm nowhere near fast enough today in this age block, but I'm hoping in 3 more age blocks that maybe I'll be the only one around that I'll be able to do that.
Well, if you keep getting your readings right, you're going to... Absolutely.
Yeah.
Spencer, that's absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person on the 4th of July, although I'll be in contact with you after this to sort out getting some monitors. Because what I'm thinking of doing is I might do a daily update, a quick short live stream, couple of minutes, just giving a daily update so people can track my progress. But it'll also be a good discipline for me to not be in the dirty carnival that sometimes I become. Yeah.
All right. Is that right?
The Guinness sneaks in every now and then that shouldn't.
Do a Guinness on an empty stomach. See what I think.
I think I'm actually going to do that. Actually, that's a great idea.
You've got to road test it. You have to road test it. That'll be cool. And maybe I'll connect now. I'll look at your real-time data then. If you might be calling. If you did that, you might be dialing 999 for me. So well, you said my sugars were like the Rocky Mountains. Well, let's see yours.
Mine might be more like might be flat, but a very height. No, I'm only joking. But we should be interesting to see. So that'd be awesome. If you stay online, I'm going to close off the live stream, but and obviously we'll have a quick chat offline. So just like to thank you again. Again, I'll put your links below so people can follow you.
Thank you for inviting me, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Enjoyed it.
No problem.